And as soon as we go
There
live,
we
I guess
go. Okay. Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 301. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. In this show, we will be discussing the Tactical Kinetics AR barrel review, new 80% glocks, custom gun belts, and a pistol light. Of course, I'm your host, Chad Wallace, and with me tonight are, first up, Greg from Hackett Equipment. Yes, we have a guest. Tony, Rob, and Zane's back, of all people. So,
yeah, I thought we lost him.
Yeah, well, he's done with class for a while, so we're stuck with him till like January or something. So I will go through here, and whoever wants to start can say what they did in firearms, raise their hand, or just speak up.
Well, I get no Zane raises his hand. He's on no video.
We don't want to see him anyway.
Well, I did not a whole. I didn't do squat. I just remounted a couple scopes on some of my rifles, and that's about all I did. So I'll pass.
Okay.
I did nothing.
Tony?
Yeah, I was having trouble getting this thing off of mute. Went to the CNJFO's youth shoot in Jersey. Where did Zane go? Anyway, went to see the CNJFO's youth shoot, helped kids out. It was great. I took the High Tower Armory 9022 that they sent, the chassis they sent, and I used the 1022 that was donated to us by my friend Les. So that was really cool. Kids got a lot of trigger time. Gun runs fine. Gun runs great. Adults were really geeked up about it. I shot them a message on Instagram going, you might get a lot of orders from Jersey. Just letting you know that. It's so much fun teaching kids. And, of course, they blackmail you with a raffle. Hey, we'd really like to, train the kids. Could we raffle like an hour of your time as an instructor so you could teach a class to you mother? Really? Okay. Yeah, sure. No problem. So I have this wonderful girl named Natalie that shot a gun for the first time. She actually shot this gun for the first time. And at 7 yards, this kid just shot a plus sign into the target about that big with like 3 mags, just all holes touching. It was a plus sign. I was like, that's awesome. I'm going to have so much fun teaching her because she listens.
Awesome. Zane, are you available now?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't do anything. I've been so busy between work and school and other work. I didn't do anything. Nothing.
We're a bunch of boring people.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is you guys need to shoot more.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. This is true because what I did.
Just, kick him off. Get rid of him. Eject.
Because what I did was write a review because that's what I did. But did you do anything besides work, Greg?
Work, I'm on the same boat as you guys, but I did manage to put a SB tactical brace on my pistol caliber carbine, so that's my contribution.
Well, it's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really do much either. Holidays coming up and all this other stuff. That's kind of how it works. So,
yeah, I'm not sure what the weather is by you guys, but it's like 19 degrees in Chicago right now. So, not a whole lot.
Yeah,
of
that's cold.
Shooting.
It finally dropped below 70 down.
Yeah, down here in Florida. Yeah, we're in South Florida.
That's
Yeah,
when
but you
everybody
guys
started
watch-
crying.
19 degrees is when those people with Trump hats run out and throw bleach on people.
I'm in Oregon, and where I'm at, if it gets 19, everything shuts down. I mean, it's like 60 degrees today and rainy.
Yeah, it's 62 and overcast. Didn't rain, but it's overcast.
When did this become the Weather Channel? Man, you guys
about months ago, okay?
Hey,
welcome
we always complain about the weather on this show. We hate the weather.
Welcome to the Boomer Show, where no one shot guns and they're complaining about how cold it is.
Exactly. Okay, fine. We'll get into the announcements.
We're going to rename the show the Firearms Insider Weather Review Podcast.
That's right.
Weather Review Podcast.
Of course, we didn't want to be left out, so of course we decided to start a cult too. Ours isn't near as big, but you can go to thegungearcult.com and pledge your support. There are $5, $15, and $25 levels per month for now. We might add more. If you like us, go show your support. Of course, our bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. You got to love them. And go check out their Patch of the Month Club. I don't think I know what it is for next month because I haven't looked or they didn't send it to me.
I haven't got the email yet. They'll usually send it out probably at the end of the week.
So
I can't wait to see how you get it wrong this time.
I'm
While looking at it, can't figure out.
When I'm 110, what do you expect, Tony?
You were like, "Hey, it's an eagle with night vision goggles."
Yeah, turkey, eagle, whatever.
It's a turkey.
When they're sitting out in the field
Little bit of difference.
they look the same, okay?
So what's funny about that is, didn't Benjamin Franklin want the turkey to be the national?
One of the turkey vulture.
So
Yes.
if you paid attention, your Patch of the Month Club came from B. Franklin
Exactly.
this month.
Yeah.
Understand Tad's old enough because he was the one that tried to convince Ben Franklin to make that the national bird while they were drinking.
No, actually, I was more for the buzzard, but
Was it a gray buzzard? Or Aaron's Firearms Company's name?
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So go check out Gunstreamer if you want some video content that's not going to be shut down by YouTube. And if you're shopping Amazon, of course, use the affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And because we love Rob, we let him say his disclaimer.
You're kidding me? I'm the only one who's yeah. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should be considered as such. Your discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows, and maybe one day I'll actually record the darn thing. But first thing, we're going to go with the AR barrel, or are we going to go into the
we'll do the
Okay.
review. He said he
Okay.
could stick around for a few minutes.
Go for it.
Okay, cool. Chad's going to talk about a Tactical Kinetics AR-15 barrel. Tactical Connecticut AR-15 barrel. Nope, not from Connecticut.
If it makes it any better, Rob, I could not tell you how many times when I was typing this review that I spelled kinetics with like KINTETIC. I just was typing it and I was like,
and that's one of those words that spell checker's going to muck up. So
I was like, whatever. But like I said, we do have the Tactical Kinetics barrel. They're in, I don't know, you may have not heard of them. First time I heard of them was July at TriggerCon. They had a booth there. The thing I like, they make aftermarket barrels, OEM barrels, whatever you need pretty much. But they produce all their barrels in-house from start to finish in Tennessee, meaning they basically take steel and machine it, rifle it, all that stuff. And of course, that is what drew me to them, is because not very many smaller companies are making in-house barrels. A lot of them take barrel blanks and then trim them down to whatever profile, thread them, all that kind of stuff. They offer two different options pretty much. You can get 4150 military grade steel or 416R stainless, depending on what you want. They precision air gauge them and button rifle them for accuracy, drill appropriate size gas holes in them, thread and profile them, heat treat them as needed, all that kind of stuff that you do for a barrel. I actually chose a 7.5 barrel when they said they were going to send one for review because I was putting together a pistol. So of course, hey, I figured that's a good thing to do a review on. It is a medium profile barrel, which doesn't really mean all that much when it's 7.5 inches long, but it is chambered in 223 Wildy Wild, whatever you want to call it. It does have a 1-in-7 twist, and this one is 4150 chromoly vanadium steel.
It's pronounced Willie.
It's pronounced however we want to.
Like Free Willy?
Yep.
So
look, if you're gonna be wrong, be real wrong.
That's true. Okay. It is also black nitride coated. So, yeah, I mean, they do offer like parkerizing and a few other options. If you order 'em raw, I think ordering multiples, you can get Cerakote and various other coatings.
These barrels look pretty legit, actually.
Their machining on them is
Yeah.
spectacular.
I'm looking at the pricing on them.
And the
I'm like,
price, yes, is
Mhm.
good too. This particular one has a 750 diameter gas block and is a pistol length gas system, as you could probably expect because it's short. They do install the barrel extension. It's M4 style. You know, the muzzle's threaded half 28 because it's a 223 barrel. There is not a recessed or target crown on the muzzle. I'm assuming most likely just because you're going to put something on it anyway, even if it is just a plug or something to cover the threads. Like I said, I installed it on this pistol. Installation, you know, is same as everything else. AR related. You stick it on, put the nut on, etc., etc. I did use a Velocity Precision adjustable gas block, which is also here for review, mainly because I plan on running it suppressed sometimes. When I first ran the pistol itself, I had it backed out all the way, so it's essentially not adjustable. And the pistol actually functioned flawlessly that way, but I did adjust it down, of course. And I attribute that to the proper size gas port. And when I say flawlessly, that's standard 3-ounce buffer and a standard bolt carrier group. I adjusted it down until it gave problems and then backed it up a little ways. You know, it functions good. You know, I also checked it for somewhat accuracy. They may have been making fun of me at the range because I mounted a scope to it, and as you could probably guess, it looks a little odd. But I checked it at 100 yards. I just had a 3x9 scope I put on there. You know, it looked like a sci-fi weapon. Hey, and it's of course loud. And it shot as I expected it. I mean, I was consistently getting 1.5 to 2.5 inch groups off a rest with my bad eyes and just cheap plinking ammo. I'm not sure what
I'm
Tommy's laughing
laughing.
at.
I'm laughing because you look like somebody that's our age trying to shoot a 7-inch barrel with good groups at 100 yards. You're gonna have to use a freaking optic, dude.
I know.
And then you put it on a 7-inch barrel that's just screaming to everybody. Every time you pull the trigger, it's like, "Hey y'all, look at me! I'm old. Hey y'all, look at me! I'm old."
I'm old. I want to make noise. That was just
Wow.
your everyday ammo, whatever's cheap was what I was getting with, and those are 5-shot groups. I did have some 75 grain match reloads that I had done that I wasn't happy with, and they were shooting. I got a 3/4 inch 3-round group, and then I shot a flyer at opened it up to 1.6 inches. But I'm like, hey, that's pretty good, you know, for a 7.5 inch barrel at 100 yards. So I was happy with the accuracy. I ran some light loads through it, 250 grain. I don't even remember what they were, VMAXs or something I had, just to see if it wouldn't stabilize them. It stabilized those fine. They did not disintegrate going out the barrel, which I didn't expect them to. So that's what I got for accuracy. You know, hey, you can do what you do when you're old.
Did you compare it? Do you have something to compare it to? Like, did you have another barrel on before that you shot, or?
I did not. I do have another 7.5 inch barrel, and the thing is it's one of those. It's a questionable barrel. It is 1-in-7 twist, but it's a 5.56 chamber.
Oh, okay. So it wouldn't be apples to apples anyway.
Right, and that's the thing is, I figured if I can get this group at 100 yards with a short barrel, I don't expect. It's a 7.5 inch 223 barrel. You're not going to probably shoot it at 100 yards anyway. I'm not.
Right.
So if I can get that accuracy out of it at 100 yards, I'm good. If it was longer, maybe. I do like the short barrel because it's makes a real maneuverable rifle, pistol, etc. I did put this up around my SBR because you can do that, and that's when of course I realized that you can move it from target to target super quick. Of course, you lose velocity. I was going to run velocity on it, and then I totally forgot to delete and left my chrono at home. So that's how that works. I also ran a 22 long rifle conversion kit with it. Hey, I shot a steel plate match with it in there, and being small and light, it was pretty cool. And the accuracy was decent out of it for that too. I mean, I didn't have any problems hitting plates. So just because this is a short AR barrel, don't rule out the tactical kinetics. If you're looking at a barrel, like I said, they machine them from start to finish. So go give them a look. We'll get into the Firearms Insider 8 key points now. Claim to fame, of course, is in-house made AR barrels. Target market is AR builders or OEM manufacturers. Features and benefits you guys probably already know, but it's semi-spec 223. What do we say? Willie's chambering?
Yeah, Willie.
117 twist. Button rifled 7.5 inch pistol length gas, 750 gas block, medium profile, all this stuff. M4 extension, black nitride coated, and the 4150 chromoly vanadium steel. You can get different lengths, chamberings, profiles, and they also manufacture Glock barrels.
It seems what they're famous for, right? Like it kind of looks like they have a lot of Glock barrels on here.
They, they said they were updating their website, and I don't know if when I last checked it hadn't been updated, but I think they started making barrels for other companies first, then branched off, and now they're making both barrels. There are a lot of Glock barrels on there. I think they put them on and take them off as they run out of stock.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at one barrel that I might want to get, and it's like one in stock.
Quantity of one.
Well, they might be doing that QVC late night thing that's always says quantity of one.
Yeah.
So there is a link to another review in the Firearms Insider article if you want to go check it out. MSRP on this barrel is $92. That's what they have crossed out on their website, and they're selling it for $87. The 16 inchers are around 120 or something on their site. They have really decent prices for the barrel that I was sent. I mean,
the accuracy they got out of it, from a geezer shooting it at 100 yards was pretty impressive.
Exactly. And so, if you need it now, go to Tactical Kinetics and order 1 or 10 or whatever you want. So our rating, the pros, it's 100% made in-house. I did like it had a 750 gas block diameter because that's pretty much standard. You don't have to order some 6 1/4 or, 937 or whatever it is. I do like that it is a Wilde chambering. It had decent accuracy. The gas port size made a difference for me, and it is made in the USA. Basically, the only cons I found with this barrel was the non-recessed crown. Hey, so I gave it an 8.5 of great. Because of all the stuff it did, I can't complain.
That's a pretty good rating.
It's.
I got a question. When what did you mic the gas port by any chance?
I did. I don't exactly remember what it was.
Well, because I'm thinking, what I'm thinking is that 7.5s are known to really beat the hell out of a gun. Did you notice it was really beating the gun up before you turn the gas down? I
didn't, and that kind of surprised me because I expected that.
Right.
And that's kind of what surprised me. And I measured it when I first got the barrel, and I didn't write it down before I put it in the rifle because I measured it, and then I went online to check to see what proper port sizes are, and it was right pretty much in the middle of what they say to make a 7.5.
That's good, because that's the two things I'd be weary about with any barrel manufacturer, especially one where the prices are a little less than the competitors. I'd be worried about gas port size, and then the extension mounting. Those are the two big things I'd be looking
But
at.
understand, one of the ways they get to be less than the competitors is they make it themselves.
Sure, absolutely.
And you competitors are buying it from them and then have to up price. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you might just be getting a better barrel because that's what they do. And, because I'm seriously thinking about actually spending money, and I don't do that.
Right. No, Tony likes that free 99.
and like I usually say to Tony is, go talk to him and
Yeah.
Oh, Tony has no problem asking for free stuff.
well, I don't either.
I mean,
yeah, no, my biggest things, like I said, when it comes to barrels, are you're looking at the port size and then your extension. Because what you don't want is like your extension
Your
to come
extension
off, which I've
coming
seen
loose.
with
Yeah.
some barrels.
Like
I
maybe the other brand that in the 7.5 I have that was literally $40 shipped.
Ooh, I know.
So tell me, no machining marks, nothing like that. It was pristine.
I'm not. No,
product quality.
I should probably go grab it because it is ugly compared to this thing. I mean it.
Well, no, I was talking about this one. I don't care about the freaking
no,
broomstick you got in the mail.
This thing is beautiful. I mean, like I said, go check the pictures out. That's really how it looks.
I saw your subpar pictures in the report.
Pictures look good.
They're not Zane's pictures. Okay, well,
I'm not a photographer.
Zane has an iPhone 4.
Zane still has
11.
He still has a flip phone that he takes pictures with.
yeah, you kidding me? Yeah.
Wait a minute, Zane gonna brag?
Zane
brag
draws
about
it just like Da Vinci.
No, Tony.
No, Zane's gonna brag about his iPhone.
We're
but
talking
meanwhile,
about
every
the
show he's
weather,
on-
not the iPhones. So
Let's go.
I'm going to get into the product spotlight and discussion. First up, 80% Arms GST9. It's the new hot thing on the internet. Okay, nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
MSRP is $119.99, and the jig to machine it is $29.99. But of course, they're on pre-order for $79.99 and $19.99. This is 80% Arms Glock pistol frame, Glock style. It's Gen 1 through 3. It is a 19 size platform, but because of how they make it, you can get a longer frame piece. It's like the backstrap and magwell to make it a 17 length frame, which is, cool if you're into that stuff. Of course, it's got an undercut trigger guard, so you can get higher up, thus lowering the basically bore axis. Let's see, it's got supposedly functional improvements. Let me click over here to this other thing. It's got extended frame rails. They nickel plate the mating surfaces, which will make it smoother. Of course, it is Glock compatible parts. We talked about that. It does have exaggerated gas pedal cuts up front. I did notice that when I first saw a picture, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool if your thumbs can actually rest on them, which mine can't. And it does have a pick rail on the front. The pre-order does actually ship with both grip modules, which helps it, kind of one of those things. And then, let's see, we already said everything else that we need to know. The jig does ship separately because of the ATF ruling. Something about they had to ship it separately. They can't ship it with it. It is a glass-filled polymer material of the jig itself. I don't know exactly what the pistol itself will be made out of, but it's polymer plastic like everybody else's. It does have a lifetime guarantee. I think that's about it.
It's a lot of good stuff.
I was thinking the same thing. The pictures, but I like the adjustable grip lengths. It looks like kind of mentioned in one of the articles I was reading that, in the future they may have like different ones with like mag wells and various other things, so it's easy. The grip texture, I don't know. I'd have to feel one to find out. Everything else looks kind of like something that looks pretty cool to me. And the price is on par with everybody else's. So.
Yeah, so I
Yeah, but
looked at these. I was like, they're cool. I mean, so I think they look a little cooler than the Polymer 80 ones to
Oh.
be, since let's just call it what it is. This is a direct competitor to the Poly 80s, right?
Right.
Like, there's no dancing around the campfire with that. I think these look a little cooler, but I guess it all depends on what you're into. But me personally, I want someone to make my gun for me. I don't want to make my own because I'm not a gun maker.
The one thing I forgot to mention that when you mentioned that reminded me, it says they will fit in Glock holsters, which of course the Polymer 80s will not.
I think that's a big deal too. I remember
do too.
seeing that.
that's kind of stupid.
The what? The Polymer 80s?
Why the Polymer 80 didn't design a gun to fit in Glock holsters?
I don't know, but
Yeah,
that's neither
the
here
only
nor
thing.
there.
Did you notice on this that the what do they call it? The you have to purchase a jig every time you buy the molded lower because it's got the frame rails are with the jig. So I think on the P80s you can buy the jig and then just buy the frames if you want to make multiple.
Yes and no. You're going to chew up those jigs.
Because
you can make 2 or 3, but then you start to get the jig out of spec. And
I wouldn't even. I would. They're one-time use, and I would not use a Polymer 80 jig more than once.
But the way this is set up, though, is you have to buy the jig separately because the jig comes with the frame rails.
Correct. That is correct, Rob.
I wonder why they did that.
It's something
Probably
to do
make
with
you
the
buy the darn
ATF.
jig.
Yeah.
Probably the Alphabet Boys.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So.
Well, that's what it says on their website.
Right, and I had heard that somewhere else. I don't know.
Due to recently changed regulations, we cannot legally include the jig or frame rails with the GST9 frame.
Okay.
If you want to build your own and you got Glock holsters laying around, this is probably a better option. Again, me personally, I want someone else to make my gun for me.
Yeah,
or if you just want to have fun and build a gun.
I don't care about that. I mean, if I'm going to put together a gun for fun at the range, I don't care. I mean, seriously. I mean, I think I've shown that with some of the stuff I have. Dude, most stuff is range stuff. With this, it would be really cool, but of course, it's 100% illegal in my state because F Jersey. I'd really like to be able to put one together because it would be awesome because it's another, and I really encourage all companies to do stuff like this because F the government. They don't need to know what you have, and this is an awesome way to work within those rules that they have about producing the firearm. It looks good. I wish them all the luck. I mean, it's a crowded market, but hey, go out there and do it. I just find it funny that there's no such thing as really legally an 80% anything, but all these companies call themselves an 80% something because that's the number we landed on with this.
I always thought that was weird. Like, there's no regulation that says any of the percentage. People just started going with that number and running with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's nothing 80%. This thing could be one freaking hole away from being a full gun. But whatever.
It all depends
I'm
on how the Alphabet Boys feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And
poor guys.
And which ATF examiner or whatever you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or how many dang letters people continually write to them.
Yeah,
I mean, Chad, you built a P80, right?
Yeah, I have a couple Polymer 80s. Super easy. They work fine. I mean, the first one I had a little bit of a problem with, but it was minor once I figured it out. It was the takedown spring that pops the little pieces up wouldn't go into the frame. There's a little piece of plastic in there. I pried it out with a little toothpick type tool and it went in and was fine after that.
I tried to make one time. It
Oh,
didn't work. It didn't work out. It didn't.
hey, I wonder, Zane, because they have here. I just saw this. They have California versions of the 80% lowers.
Mm.
Like
Interesting.
you can send it in and they'll complete it for you.
Well, it's kind of stupid. It's just going to have to be transferred anyways,
Well,
Hey,
yeah, but
right?
California requires serial numbers on quote unquote 80%.
Yeah, even
stuff.
80%ers. Yeah. Yeah. California's weird.
I don't know
feel
how you
sorry
can
for them.
require a serial number on a piece of plastic, but
They do it.
Some
Same
of these
with-
guys
Well, they
started
put
putting
a
serial
piece of
numbers
metal
on
on the
them.
glocks.
Sorry.
yeah, Polymer 80 does one with a serial number. They have a serialized Polymer 80.
Yep.
It's just a piece of metal, just like they do for glocks, I'd imagine.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on to something that somebody else on the show can tell you all about. But since we have Greg with Hackett Equipment, next up is the Hackett Equipment custom gun belt.
Ooh,
MSRP
custom.
on these is a whole $79,
yeah,
which
I've got
is
one here for you guys.
And so if you go watch the video, you can actually see one. I will try to do them justice, but I doubt I will. So you guys started making leather belts.
Yeah.
Did you guys start making the standard ones before you decided on the custom
Well,
ones, or is it kind of an all?
So I've got the standard one here as well, and I'm not used to putting stuff in front of the camera here, but
That's okay.
basically we wanted to create a really good standard leather belt, and we also wanted to warm our customers up into our custom leather belts. So instead of just launching the custom right away, we decided to bring out the standard belts first. And the really cool thing about these is that they're made of premium grade leather. It's the tanning process that we use on this is a lot different than some of the other companies too, and we're able to bring it to our customers at a really good price point. So basically our whole idea is we like to solve problems whether they're needed in the market or not. That was our idea for the custom belts. I think we're the first people doing this where you could like make a whole completely custom leather belt online. And originally we wanted just to make a really cool gift idea. And these things are about like a quarter of an inch thick, and they stand up really well too. So and yes, they are reversible. Someone was asking about them. They come with these Chicago screws, and you could easily switch out the buckle and reverse the belt as well. So
yeah.
When you get on your little thing on the internet playing around on your website, you can literally like build this. There's like 9 million different options.
Yeah, there's hundreds of combinations. You could change the fonts, the colors, and as we go, we'll be bringing out more colors too. But this is kind of like a standard option just to kind of get the ball rolling here. We thought that a lot of like gun shops and clubs and things like that would like this as well. So
Yeah, I was going to ask because I didn't see it anywhere. Are they 2 layers sewed together of leather, or are they a single, almost quarter-inch thick leather?
yeah, so they're actually 3 layers.
Oh, okay.
We have our base layer on the inside, and then the 2 outside layers are embroidered.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a little bit different. Our standard belt is 1 solid piece of leather, and then the custom belt it's slightly thicker than the standard one, and yeah, three pieces of layer. The 2 outsides are embroidered. So
Okay. Well,
yeah,
that's good to know. I was just curious. I was like, well, I figured they were just 2, but yeah, that makes them probably a fairly thick, good, hefty belt. Yeah, it says they're like 0.29 inches thick on the custom ones.
And this is
Yep.
interesting for me because I was actually, it's so weird this is in the show notes. I was just about to order a leather gun belt like 2 or 3 days ago. And my issue with most of them is like, well, I need a black one and I need a brown one because, you know, you're supposed to have a black and a brown belt.
Mhm.
And so with this, I can order it, you know, a black side and then a brown side, and I can use it, switch it out, you know, and use the same for both, which is which is nifty. So I think that's awesome. So
Yeah, that's a good application too, and I didn't even like think of that. So it's always nice to hear people's perspectives.
Now the
Yeah,
real
because
question
Zane
is,
is a fashionista because he has to have
Mm-hmm.
Tony.
you gotta have a black and a brown belt, and you gotta have black and brown shoes. It's a requirement, man.
That's
Oh,
true.
man.
Listen, I just had to work my way through listening to all you white dudes run around saying jig, waiting for one of y'all to slip up. So forgive me if I'm off
Hey,
my
we
game
did.
a little bit. I'm really proud of you all. Yeah, so about this little hey Chad, how's this? About this little gun belt company you have. Do you sell the belts in adult sizes? You know, anything
That's
over
what I
60,
was. That's what I was going to
65?
ask. Tony, it goes to 54-inch waist, so I don't know if they can
Yeah,
make
I
you
know.
one.
I guess I gotta drop about 10 inches off my waist, and then of course you'll have to add 4 to the size. So yeah, why don't you keep a 68-inch? You see, you got what 34s? Smack 2 of them 34s together.
Yeah, we were actually on our way coming up with something a little longer here. We wanted to test the market and see how these did first before we started extending the length. But yeah, we're definitely gonna be making a Big Daddy belt here coming up. So don't worry
Do,
about
do
that.
they
So-
make cows
No,
that
a
big?
belt for
Okay, one, that's
bigger
rude.
size men.
2, as the largest pound for pound firearms instructor in America, I think I should be one of the first people to get your Big Daddy belt.
Yes, you will be the first to get one. I promise you.
And the other thing is, obviously, this is going to have to be made from water buffalo and not regular cow because water buffalo.
Yep.
But I was going through this, your belt thing when I was putting it in the show notes, and I'm like, man, all those options. And then I was like, text size. I'm like, okay, and all these different fonts. I'm like, I don't even know what I would choose.
What's that?
It's kind of
Nothing.
interesting, like when people are like creating their custom belt online. It takes a bunch of tries and trial and error to get something to where that looks presentable and something that they want to order. It's not. There's so many options, that it's really easy just to sort through them all and pick out what you want from there. So
There are a lot of options, and we're very I don't know what a good word is, but we criticize websites a lot on this show, and I will say I found it very easy to use your website. You just
I was
click the
crossing my
color.
fingers.
You just click the color you want, and it literally changes in
It
the
changes
picture.
the color.
So it
Oh.
was pretty
I
simple to
do
use.
have to say this is the most awesome, and I can write any text I want because with a 64-inch belt, I could get the freaking Constitution written on this sucker.
Yeah.
You can actually put the whole Second Amendment on yours,
You
Tony.
you
like the
should,
whole-
Tony. When
Hold up.
you should.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union.
Yep.
It just needs smaller text. That way it'll fit.
No.
We're kind of interested to see what people are going to start coming up with. I'm sure we're going to get some really funky orders.
I'm sure if you get a 64-inch belt out there, Tony can put the Second Amendment on one side
No,
and
what I'm
diversity
getting,
on another.
what I'm getting put on the inside of the belt is largest pound for pound firearms instructor in America.
I'm going to write that down so I could do it for you.
What's on the outside though, Tony?
Goodyear.
Wait a minute, you might have copyright problems with that.
Oh, that was
You
funny.
might have
Yeah. Okay. Well, we know. So, is there anything else you really need to tell us about these, or are we pretty much besides
Yeah,
what we
actually,
know?
so when we decided to get into leather belts, it probably took us. I didn't realize how long the idea, like the concept phase and bring to market phase was going to be. And I was like, maybe 3 months, we'll have this going by Thanksgiving, and it literally took like a year to get like this section of the website developed, get the product the way we wanted it, with all the options we wanted it. And like we really definitely put some thought and time testing everything too. So just wanted you guys to know that as well. But
That's
a couple other things too. This isn't involving the belts, but we just started shipping our baby Bertha single pistol backpack. yesterday, or actually, sorry, on Saturday, and the response to those are pretty good so far. People are starting to get those in and send us pictures, and we only have a few left, and I think these things are going to probably sell out before the Thanksgiving sale. So if any of your listeners are looking for like a new concealed carry backpack or range bag, this is definitely something worth checking out.
Yeah, and if you want, you can go a little farther into like your bags if you want. That they don't look like a standard gun bag. I mean, they're kind of square or they're a backpack. If you want,
Yeah, absolutely. We're most known for our Big Bertha 4-pistol range bag, and this one is like completely discreet on the outside, and the thing is humongous. I mean, it fits more than you can carry, really. But I think it's like 4 pistols, 12 magazine holders. You could fit like your standard targets. It's like 1,200 round boxes of ammo, something like ridiculous. I think it's like the largest range bag on the market. And then from there, we did our 2-pistol range backpack, and then our Baby Bertha 1-pistol. And I truly think that this Baby Bertha is going to be doing really well because it's multiple uses. You could take it anywhere, use it for practically anything gun related. So
cool. Yeah, I remember when I saw you guys at SHOT Show. You had, I don't remember if it was a prototype or they were the final ones. You guys had the rifle burrito or whatever.
Oh, the burrito, yeah.
And I thought that was kind of cool because it's not, I mean, it kind of does everything you kind of need. So
we try to take like a simplistic approach to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was giving you props for your website again because I didn't know when I typed in whatever I wanted, it actually appeared on the belt also.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
text.
It's like a live preview thing, so you could kind of see how your belt's going to look as you're designing it.
yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So I was typing in stuff, and I was like, oh, let's check out this font. But yeah, okay, well, that's good to know. I'm kind of interested in this belt, and I will say that $79 for a custom belt is darn cheap.
Yeah,
not-
you're gonna
Yes, it
pay.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay $100 for a custom, at least for well, not even a custom, for a standard gun belt that's made of leather. You're gonna pay $100 for them, for a decent one. And then even if it's not leather, if you even at like scuba webbing belts for a decent gun belt, you're gonna pay $50-$60. So
Right.
the price is there.
Yeah, and a lot of these belts you can't get in different colors besides brown and black. So, that's kind of something unique that we're bringing out to the market as well.
Right.
And I got another question. Do you charge extra for the font? I mean, I don't see a charge for actual text.
Nope, there's no extra charge at all. And actually, I wanted to give your listeners a coupon code for 20% off too. So,
Jeez, 20% off.
yeah, if they go to our website and use the code HACKET20, HACKETT 20, that'll get you 20% off everything in store. I believe everything but our steel targets. So steel targets are already dirt cheap. So, but everything else.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I will definitely put it in the show notes. So I'll probably.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's I see some Patriot patches sprinkled throughout their items.
Yeah, for our range bags and our rifle bag, we like to do like these signature patches now. So,
But I mean, I was looking at your rifle burrito. You got the Circle of Life patch that Ryan did a couple months ago, I think.
oh yeah, yep, that's on the product page, right? Yep.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's actually one of my favorite patches.
Yeah. Well, do you know the backstory for that? That Ryan used to be the host of this show.
No, I did not know that.
Now you do. And then he did that kind of on the side with Jake, and then he got a job in the industry. So now he does that, and he got rid of us.
Yeah, he quit.
Which,
He big time.
yeah,
He's
and now
too
he's
important
having
for
a
us.
kid, and
He left us with Zane.
we're not going to see him for 20 years.
Yeah.
He's having a kid.
Oh boy, yeah. Patriot Patch actually did our very first logo patch too that you see in the burrito pictures. So,
Oh, with your
That's
new
funny.
logo.
yep.
Yep. Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
Ryan did my first patch, my patch. Ryan actually designed my patch for me, which was
And
awesome.
he won't do our patch for us.
No,
Well, he doesn't like our patch.
he sure
Oh,
won't.
really? Oh, oops.
Yeah, he will, but he just doesn't want to design it for us, which is no big deal. Okay, I guess we're done with the Hackney Equipment custom gun belt.
Mhm.
So now we'll go on to Streamlight's new TLR7A. MSRP is, you can buy what, 3 belts for this, custom belts for this price? It's $225.75. Basically what they did was they took their 7 light and you can now get different switches on it. It has a high switch option and a low switch option. Interchangeable, they're both in the box, so that depending on how you use it, how long your thumbs are, etc., you can adjust it to your needs. Once it is a 500 lumen compact design, you, like we said, it uses a single CR123A battery. It has 5,000 candela, because I know Zane is going to ask us about that. Runtime is about an hour and a half. They say it'll go 140 meters, which of course we all know is kind of questionable on any of these. It is 2.58 inches long. It weighs a whole 2.4 ounces, and you can get it in black, no other colors like FDE or anything like that.
You can get an FDE black,
Yeah. Okay.
but what the heck is 140 meters in American?
100,
Uh,
150 yards.
135 yards.
I don't know.
Um,
3 miles.
Yeah.
3 miles.
so this is basically a TLR7 with a different switch. right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really find it anywhere. You push in on these instead of up or down on this
Yes.
switch. Okay, so
Yes.
basically they kind of took the Surefire momentary switchology and applied it here.
Correct.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I couldn't really. Their website isn't nearly as.
No,
my God.
I the only reason I know
Keep
this
it simple.
is because I got the press release which had a teeny bit more information. Not much,
All
but
I'm saying is now I know what the dude who came up with Granger's website did next. This is
he did the Streamlight.
yeah, this is hot garbage, dude.
Right.
Yeah, I don't dig it at all. I like Streamlight. Streamlight supports the Second is for Everyone and the work we do. But I only like lights, weapon mounted lights that are on and freaking off. I'm sorry. Taking the classes, running the stuff. It's like low beam, high beam, for real. No thanks.
Well, you can probably tin tap that out on this. I know.
No, it's not
No.
low high beam. It only
Oh,
has
it's not low
high.
beam. High beam?
It's the
Okay, what-
switch style is low and high.
Yeah. So
Style.
Style? Wait a
This-
minute. They have an entire website that they could explain that except low or high option to match your shooting style.
yeah.
Right.
So what it looks like to me is there's two different paddles you can get. There's a paddle
Okay,
that has a cutout towards the bottom, and then a paddle that's full size. Is what.
then
it
I
looks
totally
like.
get it. I totally get it. I apologize, but seriously, they had an entire website that they could explain this to me. I'm an adult. I drive a car. I understand low beam, high beam. You got low switch, high switch. How do I know?
Yeah. And so I'm guessing. I'm assuming that if you press in towards the top, you get momentary, and in towards the bottom, you get constant on.
And
I
that-
couldn't find that anywhere, but I'm
Right.
just going to assume that. Which I like the idea of pressing in for momentary, but for pressing in for constant on, I like the old switch styles better. So not for me.
Right.
And I run
you
a
know,
TLR1. I mean, I like Streamlight, but this switching thing looks kind of weird.
Right. I'm looking at their press release to see if it has. Oh, you can lock out the switches too, so they won't work if you It says it has a safe off feature, locking it so it can't be turned on accidentally.
Then how does it get turned on purpose if you turned it off?
I don't know. It
They have a
doesn't tell me
magazine
that.
disconnect. They have a magazine disconnect on their flashlight.
Yeah, but maybe they do. I don't know. But okay. So I'm not keen on this either because if I'm going to run a light, I'm going to run one that's probably more than 500 lumens. But,
Yeah,
hey.
well, they're probably testing the waters with this. They'll probably move this switch type thing to the TRL1 also. I would assume.
Probably.
This is for people who like just need a gun that looks cool for the grams, and you can't have it stick past the muzzle of your 19 for whatever reason.
Oh.
Then get this light. This is
I'm
the
doing
light
it
that
wrong.
doesn't. Yeah,
Apparently.
yeah. I've never been cool, so I don't worry about that.
Wow.
He said it, not us.
Oh no! I find it funny that he thought it had to be said. Like everybody who sees you can totally agree.
Yeah, they know you ain't cool, Zane. That's okay.
Why do you think he turns his camera off?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we'll get out of that too, since we kind of all have various strange opinions on it, and I'd really like to see one to see if I like it, the way the switch functions.
Yeah, that's kind of the big thing. Right? We don't really know how it works because the website doesn't really tell us
how it works.
You know the crazy thing? They are 30 minutes away from where I work, and they have nothing really set up to allow people to go in. Like you'd figure they'd have like a kick-ass showroom or something, right? like something, because I'd want to check some of this out. I mean, they're in PA.
Yeah, you would think, you would hope, but who knows?
Or even like a quick video.
Yeah, but
yes.
Like I tried to look on YouTube. There's nothing showing how this works. So we're kind of guessing here.
But my issue is a 1.5 hour runtime, man. This thing sucks batteries.
Well,
it's a weapons light.
Yeah, it's a weapon mounted light. So you're on, you're off, and that's about the same. That's the same battery life on their TRL7 with the regular switches. I mean, this is nothing. This is just a different paddle on a TRL7.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. And really, I mean, outside of running it for classes, you're not going to run a weapons mounted light that long in real life. I mean, if you're searching for something, you pull out your freaking pocket light and you look for it, your handheld.
Right. And I'm with you there. So, yeah, an hour and a half, it's like, that's about what even like the 800 to 1,000 lumen ones run with 2 batteries. So, you're looking at about the same runtime, but you're getting half the light. So, we have some listener feedback, and I'm going to let Tony, because he's already foaming at the mouth for this one. I'm gonna read it in 2 parts because I know pretty much the answers to both of these, and we have both Zane and Tony here, so Tony might be able to give us the first part, and Zane can give us the second part. So this is from Stephen K. It says, "I need you to explain to me how a gun manufacturer, Springfield, can be against the second. You say something about wanting to be the only license provider in a state, but that could be business." Tony, do you want to try to cover this?
Okay. I feel that if you took the time to write the email, then you're really serious about the question, so I won't be snarky, and I'll answer your question. Many companies can be anti-Second Amendment, especially when it comes to business. What Springfield Armory and Rock River tried to do was get exemptions from the state of Illinois that would have made them the only people that had friggin' FFLs, federal firearms licenses, to be able to, I guess, do what they do. And then they denied they did that, even though it was their representative for both of their companies that did that. They said they don't know what he was thinking. They came up with all kinds of lies at first to try to distance themselves from this person that they shared an office with, that they shared an office space with. They tried to act as if this dude was speaking on his own when he wasn't. I was at NRA when this happened, and word hit, and we watched both Rock River and Springfield Armory come up with like 4 different answers within like 2 days of the show, and then they figured out what their story was going to be, and then they sent out their damage control team. Then they made a YouTube video featuring the owner and his sob story about how they really care about the Second Amendment. But what they really got caught doing was trying to make up a sweetheart deal for their company that would have crushed every gun owning business or gun shop in the state of Illinois.
And they didn't
And
just
put
try
them
to
out.
secure exceptions for them. They were supporting a piece of legislation that was
Yeah.
terrible because they were going to specifically be the only ones exempted.
Yeah, it was anti-competitive, basically.
Yeah, they were willing to put every other gun store in Illinois out of business to support this legislation. So that's how they can be anti-second. And as firearms manufacturing company with the number of employees and the pull they have in the industry, they could have stood up against that. And instead, they chose to try to take advantage of something and put other people out of business doing that.
Which is why we talk bad about them. At least.
And we tell you up
Right.
front why we're talking bad about them. But if they make a decent product, we say that also, as with the Hellfire. And we said we had nothing bad to say about it, but we preambled it with this because we want to be open and honest with people.
And having that said, I have 2 Springfield pistols that are collecting more dust in my safe than any other thing else that I've got.
Well, that goes to the second part where it says, second, I think you're very tough on their products. I have a 3-inch XD Mod 2 is my guess, and it's a great gun. It says baby, but I don't know what the deal is there.
Yeah,
Gun shoots better than Glock 19.
No, it doesn't.
I am not alone when listing quality brands to look at. He always mentions Springfield. I'm going to say, I know what Zane's going to say, but so I won't say that. But, shoots better than Glock 19. Yeah, okay. Different guns shoot better for different people because of the way it fits their hands. So for Steven here, it may shoot better than a Glock 19. For Zane, maybe not.
Well, so here's the thing, and there's really no way around this. With a large sample size, Springfield polymer guns, the XD line, whether it be XD, the Mod 2,
The
XDS,
ones with the grip safety.
they fail at an exponentially higher rate than other guns in the same price point.
And this is data from
And that is data taken
trainers,
from instructors, trainers,
Right.
gun ranges. Like, there's no debating this. They catastrophically fail to a point where it requires tools or disassembly to fix at a rate that is much higher than Glocks, Smith & Wessons, CZs, HKs, SIGs, Walthers, whatever, FN, whatever other gun you may like.
except 1911.
They're a cheap. They're a cheap gun that was made in Croatia, and somehow they've been turned into this thing, and Springfield picked them up, and people seem to love them. If yours works, that's fine. I feel like it probably doesn't. You probably don't run it hard enough. Maybe you do. I don't know. And if you like it, hey, it's a free country. Keep using it. The problem I have with Springfield is they spend a lot of money with a lot of people for, well, I won't go. Never.
Yeah.
I don't like Springfield.
But
So what do you got to say, Greg?
Hey.
You gonna touch this?
Well, 2 things along the lines of the whole FFL thing. That's not the first time that's happened in Illinois. They really try to jack up the prices on obtaining an FFL and keeping your FFL, which drove. I think there was like 4,000 companies that had their FFL, and then once this happened, I forgot how many years ago it was. The number got dwindled down to like 2,000 FFL holders. So that's the first note. And then as far as the Springfield goes, you can't deny the facts. I mean, a lot of people have their favorite brands, and some of my favorite brands aren't the most sound gun brands out there, but I like them a lot and I shoot really good with them. So I mean, it's just kind of personal preference. So
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Tony loves his high points.
I have no problem with High Point because High Point never pretends to be something it's not. I can't say the same thing about XD. Now, my whole thing about when I'm looking at guns, when I walk into a gun store and you look at the counter, and let's just say it had every handgun manufacturer in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like all the ones we know. And Zane and I've talked about this. When it comes to look at a gun, it's like, okay, I'm checking out the CZs, like I'm checking out the Glocks just because you have to, because it's Glock. You know, I'm checking out FNs because I want to see what else they have. Check out the SIGs mainly because you just want to see what they painted a different color and called it new. Um, and same thing over at like Kimber. You want to see from Taurus what sucks next. Like, but like by the time I get to Springfield Armory, it's like, oh yeah, and there's Springfield Armory.
It's like a second
I
thought
mean,
almost.
yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, it's like after everything else, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, there's Springfield Armory and there's Rock Island. Let me go check out what Rock Island has new. Like, I'll eventually get to Springfield, but it's after Walther, it's after Canic, it's after. I'm just not excited about anything they
You
make.
know what? It's like
I-
the Hooper Humperdinck of firearms.
You know,
I-
I wouldn't go so hard in the paint after them if they were priced where they need to be. If they were priced to compete with Taurus pistols, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be so adamant about. But I don't feel like I don't feel like they compete with all the other brands that they're in that price point with. I just now with this new Hellfire or Hellcat or whatever this thing is, they just released that doesn't have that grip safety, which is the one of the largest points of failures on the XD line. Maybe this gun will work. I don't know. I hope it does. But
Yeah.
from what I've seen from Springfield thus far, and then there was a whole thing with the Saint with like barrel extensions coming off and stuff. But
Right.
And see, I like, and again, because people want to hear what they want to hear because you said something bad about the product. I like the Saint and the couple of hundred rounds I shot through the brand new gun that I ran at, you know, an event that they set up for me at the range just to check
Yeah.
it out. I dug it. It didn't fall apart. It didn't, you know, I mean, I fired it as rapid fire as I could, but understand I'm spending my money here, you know, pump the
yeah,
brakes. baby.
so I have samples. When it comes to Saint, I have sample size of exactly one that showed up to a class I was teaching, and literally the handguard and barrel, you could move them. You could turn handguard and barrel like about
Yeah.
a quarter of an inch, and I'm like, that ain't right.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say, you know, you're wrong, but at least we put it out there. We're not acting as if somehow I dislike Springfield as a company, but I can't look at their products as something totally different. I do. I hold every product up as an individual product, and I can definitely say I don't like some of their business practices. And again, and I'll say it, Springfield helped us out during the first 2 years of the diversity shoot. They really did. And all of that came to an end at the same time they had this hinky stuff happen. And then all of a sudden, they weren't there for us. At the same time, they were saying they were these great Second Amendment advocates. And I'm like, what you're done for me and then what you're willing to do for me don't jive with what you're saying.
And Tony, since you're
Mhm.
talking about the diversity shoot,
Let's talk about the December 5th diversity shoot that's going to be held at Gunfire Range in Woodland Park, New Jersey on December 5th. That's right, the last event of the year. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some food. We're going to have prizes for people. We're going to shoot some guns. So if you have that anti-gun person from work that wants to have the conversation, bring them on down because that's what we specialize in. If you want to bring your mom, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever's been asking you and kind of gun curious, but you feel you don't have the ability to teach them how to use a gun, this is what we're going to do at the diversity shoot. We're going to introduce you to guns. You're going to introduce both of you to firearms owners and Second Amendment groups in the state because that's what we do. So come
you
to the
said
diversity.
doo-doo.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. That's what we did. Come down to diversity shoot at Gun for Hire Range, Woodland Park, New Jersey, 6 p.m., December 5th. Tickets are online at diversityshoot.com. If you want to support what we do or buy a bad, awesome, amazing t-shirt, diversityshoot.com. Pick up our shirts. If you want to go to our old link and pick up a shirt, 1022clothing.us. We're like 5'11", but twice as big because we go up to 6X. If you want to donate to our Patreon, please do at 2A4E podcast on Patreon. Donate to our GoFundMe at The Second Is For Everyone. visit our website, diversityshoot.com. Check out our Facebook page. The second is for everyone. And follow me on Instagram at Simon Says Train. Hey, you want to buy something from Black Bag Resources because they have a lot of stuff? Sean will bring it to me at the December 5th shoot. Just buy it on blackbagresources.com. Type in 2A4E on the coupon code, and Sean will deliver it to me free of charge for no shipping. All right.
And now,
thanks a lot. I appreciate it, guys.
Yes. And now we'll ask Greg where he can be found, or if he wants to be found.
Not by the government.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to check out Hackett Equipment products like the custom belt, the Baby Bertha range backpack, they can go to hackettequipment.com. Use the promo code Hackett20 to get 20% off.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for being here. It helped with our questions that even though you have a good website, we probably could have answered most of them.
Yeah, that's all right. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. And you, so we're just wrapping up. Send questions, comments, feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Go pledge your support at gunandgearcult.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. And thank you for listening to the largest pound-for-pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you.
Have
Thanks for having
some